Hi everyone, welcome. I'm here to talk to you today about well-being and what that means. My name's Anna, and there is no single definition of well-being, not in a practical sense. So what I'm talking about today is being happy, being healthy, and being comfortable. Well-being is very different for different people, and it will feel different for different people. But there are certain steps that can be taken that if we all practice them, we would be on a solid path to maintaining or improving our well-being. So, there's certain assumptions that I need to make today, which are around physical health. So for our brains to function properly and to their maximum capability, we need to fuel our bodies and our minds effectively. So eating the right foods, fruits, vegetables, drinking enough water, these are things that I would hope that you know, but if you don't, there's plenty of information available out there for you to do some more research. So I'm going to assume that you're eating well and also that you're sleeping well. These two things do go hand in hand. When we feel well and our well-being is good, we tend to sleep better. And there's certainly a cycle. When we're stressed and worried, our sleep gets impacted. But it's important that we take steps to improve things where possible. So reducing the amount of blue light that we have during the day or just prior to going to bed, not having too much stimulating information, so reading a book rather than watching TV, for example. Avoiding stimulants, coffee, for example. All of these things are practical sleep hygiene techniques that we can use to improve our sleep in order for our bodies to be in the best working capacity that we have, in order for us to maintain our well-being. And as I mentioned, we have 5 steps that we're looking at. So they are to connect, to give, to take notice, to keep learning, and to be active. So, connect. What do I mean? It's not about shoving your USB stick into something and putting your cable into something else. That's not connecting. I mean connecting by talking, listening, being there, and feeling connected with people. People that give us positive emotions. So people that bring us joy or amusement, find us interesting and we find them interesting. Positive emotions with the right people is a huge factor with our well-being. So connect with those people that bring you joy. If we connect with people, larger groups, family, friends, we get a sense of being part of something bigger than ourselves, finding our place in the world. That's a lovely feeling to have. And it brings a sense of belonging and meaning. And if we can have meaning in our lives, big or small, a social group, a religious way of life, having that sense of purpose, meaning, belonging are extremely important factors in our lives in order for us to maintain our well-being. So taking time to connect with others is extremely important. As we move through these 5 steps, you'll notice that certain activities will tick more than one box. So I mentioned here about connecting with people. It might be joining a social group or an activity group. Also ticks some other boxes along the way, but we'll come to that. So give. A lot of people think that will mean giving money to charity, and by all means do that. That's fantastic. But we can give in other ways. We can give with our patience for others, with our time, potentially that's the most important thing, and with our words. If you give a kind word to someone, kind few words if you're feeling generous, I love you, and I like you, you're looking great today. Being generous with your words can have a massive impact on your own sense of well-being as well as theirs. A kind word placed could have repercussions that you will never know. So giving your words to others. Giving your time, perhaps to a charity, volunteering, getting involved with something bigger than ourselves, connecting with other people, and giving to our community with our time vastly important, a selfless act which will actually impact you. So maybe it is selfish. It's not. It's fine. Taking notice. So being in the moment, here and now, taking notice of the things that are around you. It's the simple things that bring us joy. So we all have days that are really challenging. That's normal, the ups and downs of life. It would be odd if you didn't have challenging days. But even on in those times, noticing the good things of that day can make us feel much better in those challenging moments. Taking time, actually pausing and thinking, okay, here and now, how are things? This is good. I'm enjoying this moment, this activity. Getting involved in something bigger than me, maybe. And gratitude. So I mentioned before, noticing the small things. Being grateful for those things is something that we can practice. There's apps. You can Google it, search the App Store. There's apps that will jog your memory to ask you to make a note of 3 or 5 things in that day that you are grateful for. My friend gave me part of their cookie. My teacher took some time to explain the thing I didn't understand. Or somebody said they liked the funky laces on my shoes. Whatever it might be, small or big, there's often things in your day that you can be grateful for. And pausing and making a note of those, again, has a massive impact on our well-being. Mindfulness. Now, you've probably heard of this term mindfulness. It's been around for a few years now. Mindfulness is very much about being in the moment, noticing how something, whatever you're doing, feels, how something looks, what you're hearing, tasting, feeling, whatever it might be. Here and now, being mindful, taking notice of what's happening. Again, that takes time. You need to pause. Focus on staying calm, getting through. Mindfulness. If we can keep learning throughout life, and I don't mean academically, at school we're used to learning new academic subjects, college, that's what you're signing up for. You're here to gain a new qualification. But wider than that, there's opportunities to develop skills beyond the classroom, skills that make you a well-rounded person. So, how can you do that? Well, take on new experiences. See where there are opportunities to learn and take those opportunities. Join the club that you notice at Freshers event. Join the club that's advertised on Instagram. You overhear something that's going on. You might want to get involved in that. Do it. Seize the opportunity to learn a new skill, because that may be something you can transfer for the rest of your life. And with that, skills that develop over time, you may find your sense of flow. Now, I mentioned before about mindfulness and being in the moment. A sense of flow, or being in the zone, as sports fans might say, is getting to a place where you are challenged, but not beyond your capabilities. When you are absolutely focused fully on the thing that you are doing here and now. There is nothing else entering your mind. You're not thinking about what's for dinner tonight, or that piece of work that you need to get in, or any big event that's coming up. It's here and now. And for me, a good example is something like Go Ape. I like Go Ape. It's challenging, it's exciting. But when I'm up that tree and I'm in that harness, there is nothing else I'm thinking about other than how I'm making sure I'm connected to that tree so I don't fall. I'm fully responsible for myself. I'm in the moment, and it's dangerous to think of anything else. It's challenging me, but it's not beyond my capabilities to succeed at that. So striking that balance between challenge and capability. And when we challenge ourselves and then achieve that challenge, we can surprise ourselves. We can feel pride, which is one of those positive emotions. Finally, being active. So it may be that you thought, when I made those assumptions earlier about nutrition and water and sleep, that physical activity would be included in that. And it's not. There's so many studies that tie the evidence of physical activity with our mental well-being. You can't dispute it anymore. It's not up for debate. Being active helps us in physical sense, but also within our mental capacities. I say be active. I don't say be sporty, because sport's not for everyone. Do what you can do. Move. We've been sat behind desks and behind laptops for 1.5 years now, maybe more. But moving, getting out of the chair, getting out of the house, going for a walk, walking the dog, taking the long route to the shops to buy that pint of milk. Whatever it might be, move. Get the blood pumping around your body. It has massive positive impacts. It releases the happy hormone after you've exercised. Enjoy what you do. Part of what I spoke about before was finding an activity that you enjoy, trying new things. If you try new things, what's the worst that can happen? You don't like it. Well, you don't have to go back to it. But keep trying new things, and you might find the activity that you do enjoy, that you can engage in, and keep on going, where you may find your sense of flow, a sense of achievement when you bench press that new PB. When you learn a new skill because you joined that Zumba class and you could never do the step backwards and forwards before, but then one day you nail it, you achieve, you learn a skill. And because you joined the Rounders Club at the local community centre, you've connected with people. You're part of a team, something bigger than yourself, and you find a sense of belonging. Now, with connect and give and taking notice and keeping on learning and being active, these are things that many people will do just as part of life. But if they're not, they are skills that can be developed. And just like every other skill that you've developed in your life, practicing is key. So if I asked you to pull out a piece of paper, close your eyes and write your name, I'm pretty confident that you could do that, and that name on the piece of paper would make sense. It would be legible because you've done it so often. When you were 4 or 5 years old and somebody asked you to write your name, you had to focus. You had to really concentrate to make sure those letters came out in the right order with enough pen control so that somebody could read it. Now you can do it literally blindfolded. The same thing is true when it comes to the skills that you need to maintain your well-being. Practice now for when you need them, so that when you do find challenge, when it is difficult, then you can just pull these out of your back pocket without even thinking about it, because you do it so often, you can do it blindfolded. Practice these skills. If you need them now, start these skills. We're looking for improvement, not perfection. There is so many opportunities to improve well-being, and there's so much power that you hold in yourself to impact your own lives. It's an exciting time. Take the opportunities, try the new things, meet new people. It will do you good. Thank you.